What if I told you that the most productive people in the world don't actually rely on willpower or discipline to stay focused? It turns out they're using clever hacks to trick their brains into a level of productivity that feels, well, almost illegal. Let's dive into how they do it.
So, we're kicking things off with an idea that completely turns conventional wisdom on its head. We're always told to force ourselves to focus, to muscle through it. But this suggests something totally different. The real goal is to just filter out everything that doesn't matter. You see, it's a game of elimination, not exhaustion.
In this explainer, we're going to break down 10 incredibly powerful hacks from entrepreneur Dan Martell. And we've grouped them into 4 core strategies. First, filtering out the noise. Then, designing your environment for success. Engineering how you work. And finally, the most important part, making it all personal.
All right, our first strategy is all about subtraction. Yeah, you heard that right. The very first step to becoming more productive isn't about adding more habits or tools. It's about aggressively removing whatever's holding you back.
This slide just lays it out so clearly. You know, most people think success is additive, that you have to pile on more tasks, more projects, more everything to win. But the people who are truly focused, they get that real success is a subtractive process. It's all about doing less, but making sure that what you do work on is what really, really counts.
So this brings us to our very first hack. You need to create a not-to-do list. Think of it as your pre-commitment to all the things you're just going to say no to. It's your personal bouncer. So what goes on it? Well, low-value tasks you could delegate, bad habits that are just draining your battery, and of course, energy vampires. You know who I'm talking about?
This quote just hits so hard, right? It perfectly captures the mindset. Every single time you say yes to something that isn't perfectly aligned with your main goals, you are, by default, saying no to your biggest dreams. Protecting your focus is really about protecting your future.
Okay, a huge part of filtering is just stopping interruptions before they even start. The goal is to be easy to find but hard to reach. So how do you do that? First, kill all your non-essential notifications. Seriously, reclaim your attention. Then, schedule specific times to reply to emails and messages so you're not constantly in reactive mode. Use simple focus signals like just putting on headphones to create a boundary. And hey, if all else fails, physically remove yourself. Go to a place where you simply can't be disturbed.
So once we've filtered out all that external noise, it's time to intentionally design an environment, I'm talking both physical and digital, that makes focus your default state. Now, the key takeaway here is that getting into that flow state isn't some random bit of magic. It's something you can actually engineer. And this leads us to the concept of focus triggers. These are specific cues you create that basically tell your brain, all right, it's time for some deep work.
So what do these triggers look like? Well, it could be a specific location, like a certain chair you only use for creative thinking. It could be sound, a specific playlist for deep work, or even some of those binaural beats. Or it could be a powerful routine, a structured rhythm for your day that automatically gets you into the right headspace.
And of course, we can't talk about our environment without addressing the device that's probably in your pocket right now. This is a question you really have to ask yourself honestly when it comes to your digital world. But here's the good news. You can fight back. The next hack is to consciously train your algorithm. Start actively searching for things you want to learn. Be absolutely unapologetic about unfollowing or muting accounts that don't serve your goals. And when you learn something cool, integrate it, share it, or teach it to someone. This is how you turn your feed from a distraction machine into a learning machine.
Okay, so we've filtered out distractions and we've designed our environment. Now for strategy 3, engineering the way you actually work with some really powerful and sometimes kind of counterintuitive tactics. This next tactic is a bit wild. Instead of warming up with easy little wins, you start on hard mode. You attack your single most important task first thing in the morning. It's like eating your main course before dessert. It gives you this huge win right away and builds incredible momentum for the rest of the day. And why is it so vital to protect these focused work blocks? Because get this, research shows it takes an average of 23 minutes to fully refocus after just one single distraction. Every interruption carries this massive hidden cost to your momentum. So how do we maintain that focus? Well, one powerful method is to turn up the pressure by leveraging a concept called Parkinson's Law. It's the principle that work will always expand to fill whatever time you give it. So how do you use this to your advantage? You manufacture your own urgency. First, just aggressively shorten your timelines. If a task feels like it should take a week, challenge yourself. Why not sooner?
Maybe in 3 days? Second, you have to increase the stakes. This could be a commitment to a colleague or a personal reward you only get if you succeed. This self-imposed pressure forces creativity and just kills procrastination.
Another way to engineer your workflow is to make it feel less like a chore and more like a game. And this is the whole idea behind gamification. You can track winning streaks for key habits, set up meaningful rewards for hitting milestones, and make your progress visual. And doing it with a team can add a layer of positive social pressure, making it even more effective. And this gets to the absolute core of why gamification is so effective. A lot of the time, you don't get distracted because you're bored. You get distracted because you can't see your progress. Making that progress visible is one of the most powerful motivators there is. All right, let's move to our final section. And honestly, this is arguably the most important one. All of these hacks provide a fantastic framework, but the system only truly works when you customize it for yourself. The source for this explainer, Dan Martell, he shares that he grew up with ADHD and always felt like he was broken. But what he realized is that his mind wasn't broken, he just needed to find a different way to work that actually worked for him, not against him. And that leads us to the final hack. Find your own unique flow. Look, this is a continuous process. You have to reflect on what's working and what isn't. You have to constantly tweak your systems, try new things, like you're trying on clothes. Some will fit, some won't. The most important part is to never, ever give up on yourself or the process. These strategies give you a whole toolkit to build a life of incredible focus. But change doesn't happen all at once. It starts with one small decision. So the question to leave you with is this: what is the one thing you will filter out starting today to get one step closer to your goals?